Hey folks, well the Leafs, they just keep on rolling. The depth is really proving itself. Omicron, it's doing its thing. As always, we're going to bring it all down for you right here on the OZone.
You're in the offensive zone, your place for Leafs hockey.
Hey folks, welcome to the OZone. That's Coach, that's Katie, I'm the Devo. And we're here to talk all things Leafs. Well, the Leafs played some sloppy hockey the other night, but they still managed to roll over the Oilers. What'd you see, Katie?
Ugly game. We kind of knew it. We talked about rust and that stuff. Just guys are not playing a lot of hockey. Guys are in and out of practice with COVID and stuff, so you're going to get ugly games in that. Chalked it up to a game that you like the way they won it. You know, we had lots of traffic and scored 3 greasy goals. And that was great. Like, again, that's getting ourselves ready for the playoff hockey. 2 years ago, we lose this game for sure. Ugly game where we can't get a lot of momentum and a lot of possession. We lose that game for sure. Now we're finding ways to win it. Really, the sweet part of it, 2 design goals off the face-offs. We've been face-off dominant this year, so we're putting that to good use finally. So we love to see it. You know, that's the type of stuff that works in the playoffs. You know, design plays off the face-off, grimy, greasy goals in front of the net, pucks from the high slot and the point, and traffic in front. Yeah, it's like no secret here. You get the odd bounce and you win an ugly game. We'll take it. Take it every day. Every day.
Yep. Yeah, it's true. Great point. Coach?
Long-time listeners of the pod know I love Jack Campbell, and I was whining last time about people saying there's a small sample size. Well, he added to the sample size again. First in the league in save percentage, first in the league in goals against, second in the league in shutouts. The guy can play, and yeah, he didn't have a lot of action early, but he was there when they needed him. So good game by him. I was going back through the archives. And I haven't talked much about John Tavares since we started this pod. He's just kind of flies under the radar a little bit, right? We always talk about Matthews and Marner, even Nylander floating and all that stuff. But Tavares has been great.
Yes.
More than a point a game. Boy, does he ever create a bunch of opportunities down low. And that whole line has been good. Kerfoot, I got to get this in now. Kerfoot's been our best left winger. Because when Mikheyev, he already is showing signs that he might be. But Kerfoot, first on the team in plus-minus, he's a plus 18.
Crazy.
And he's first in left wingers in all kinds of categories, including time on ice. So he's been great. Yeah. And you guys know who's leading the team in scoring, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be Matthews, right? Or no, it's got to be Tavares. No, it's William Nylander. He's got 35 points. He's been great. Now, the knock on Nylander and the knock on this whole line has been, hey, they're good in their end, but they're not very good defensively. Well, I was pleased to see with 1:18 to go, 1-goal game, Keefe throws that line over the board to defend, and they came away and got that empty net goal. So that was great. I noticed that. But I'll leave you with something I didn't notice that I really liked. I did not notice Justin Hall, and I didn't notice Travis Dermott. And for those guys, when you notice them, it's hardly ever something good. So I'm glad I didn't notice them last night.
Great.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach. I mean, Kev, you talked about it earlier on, the depth of scoring. It's something else. You know, the last few playoff years, if you shut down the Matthews line, you had a pretty good chance of knocking the Leafs out. But, you know, we've seen 2 games in a row where they can run the score up pretty easily without those guys on the score sheet. So that matters. Soup. I mean, 65, the other Soup. You know, he's lighting it up. You got to love that. It sure takes the pressure off. He's still on his 50-goal pace. So we'll see what happens there.
Hey, you said all along when he was coming back that he was going to be great. You called him to score, and you were right. And I sure didn't. Because normally he's got hands of stone. We even talked about that. But, hey, you were right on that one, Deep.
So he's got 2 nice-looking goals. And he had the one off the rush, went underneath the arms, but still, he came off the rush pretty nicely, blew everyone away. The goalie was backed up into his net, went under the head. But he also had a high slot wrist
Rocket.
that
Rocket.
it got on the goalie pretty quick. That's a goal scorer's goal. So if he's had wrist problems the last couple of years, maybe that's starting to look like it's going away.
It should be noted he worked on that all off season, the shot and the skill around the net. So that's something he has been working on.
Yep, good, and looks like it's paying off. Gotta love the third line.
Yes.
It seems like they can put anyone in there, but they had 65 in there against Ottawa, but Engvall, Kempf, and Mikheyev out there on the third line. Boy, do they tilt the ice! It's just great to see Toronto with a third line. I'm what didn't you like? Let's get into the downside. Coach, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm going to take the obvious one here, guys. We've been talking about this also since we started the podcast. But Nick Ritchie. Nick Ritchie gets waived. We talked about how he's had all these chances. We also talked about if it's based on merit, there's 4 left wingers better than him, and he ended up being a healthy scratch. Then he comes back in the lineup for last night's game. And I just want to show you 7 seconds of tape here that I'm telling you it was his downfall. I'm calling it the 7 seconds that sealed his fate.
Right.
So here's the first picture here. You see in the top left, 1-0 Leafs. The shots are 10-4. It's halfway through the first period. The ice is tilted. Leafs have been in their end the whole time. Okay, That's a fragile team. The first one, the guy kicked into his own net. Like they're just looking for a way an excuse to collapse. Right. And so we're in good shape here. I've labeled the Oilers A, B, C, D, E. D is the defenseman who's going to get the puck. He's just outside the shot. E's up by center ice. And here's the Leafs. It's the fourth line. Simmons is in on the forecheck. Spezza's right behind him. Travis Dermott was in. He's going the other way back to his position. Sandin is back at the center line with their guy. And what we've got circled here is Nick Ritchie. We're going to follow him for 7 seconds. And I've also circled the guy in B. This is Brendan Perlini, okay? Yep. So see how far back he is? All right, so let's fast forward 3 seconds. And in 3 seconds, the puck has gone D to D, and then that D is sent it up to the center ice area. And there's Nick Ritchie. We got him circled. Sandin has his guy, and he closes on his guy. We've talked about this before. He's a risky pincher. This is not a risk, and here's why. He's got his guy. Dermott has the guy that's in front of him, and Ritchie is back. It's 2-on-3 back there. So Sandin closes, and he either needs to get the puck or the man. He gets the man. The guy chips it by him, but that guy is out of the play. Worst case here, it's a 1-on-1 with Dermott and his guy. And look, there's Ritchie. He's the high forward. He has the trailer. The trailer is, I calculated this, got the old slide rule out. The trailer's 29 feet behind him at this point. That's at 10:07. At 10:05, 2 seconds later, Ritchie is coasting. He hasn't taken a stride in 2 seconds. He's coasting through the neutral zone. Dermott's got his guy. Look, he's even got his arms out. Like, hey, I can play this one. I'm good. And, the puck's going down into the corner. But look at Ritchie's eyes. Ritchie's watching the puck, and he's coasting. Okay? So this is a real problem because in 2 seconds, you're going to see why. In 1 second, here's the Oilers guy, number 7. He's got the puck. All Campbell's movement is up against the post. It has to be. He has to protect against that shot. His movement's going that way. Dermott's got him. No problem. There's nothing in the slot, right? But how about Brendan Perlini hustling down? He closed that 29-foot gap. Now he's 3 feet in front of Ritchie. Why? Number 1, Ritchie was coasting. Number 2, he never looked.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, that's my guy. And the puck's in the back of the net. So you can be a guy that doesn't score. David Kampf had 1 goal last year. Pierre Engvall's not going to score much. But at least they hustle. Yeah. And they know what to do defensively. You can't be this guy and also not score. He got what he deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. KD, what about you? What'd you not like?
Well, other than that horrific play, one thing, it was a really sloppy game and more than it needed to. It was one of those games, I don't think it's just the Leafs. This is hockey in general, from minor atom to pro. The wingers were not, they were high. They were high and they were leaking early. It causes lots of problems. It causes choppiness. It creates lots of turnovers. It creates nightmares for your own D. It reduces possession. It just makes for a choppy game. You got to be tighter. You got to be responsible. Leave as a group. Support the puck. If you're leaking out and you're gone early, and even if you get the puck, you can't. It's hard to support it if with your teammates chasing it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now this is not. I don't want to. I want to be clear. I'm not cutting up the stretch pass. As Coach loves, his very favorite play is stretch pass. That's fine. I don't have no problems using the stretch pass now and then. But when your wingers are always a little too high and always then leaking too early, it causes lots of problems, and you just don't have as much possession as you want to. So call it a game, call it being rusty, out of rhythm, out of sync. But it's something that I'll always watch, and we saw it last night. Hopefully they correct it going forward.
Anyways, guys, I want to take an opportunity here. We had a pretty cool thing happen earlier this week. The Leafs restarted playing hockey again, which obviously was incredible, but without fans in the stands due to COVID and Omicron. That is all except for this guy, Curtis Stevenson from Red Cliff, Alberta. He had the most... So, just to break it down for you folks, if you haven't looked this guy up or seen anything about this guy on the news... He has an incredible collection of Leafs memorabilia. It's like a shrine. Every trinket, collectible, jersey, helmet, hat, stick, he's got it. It's astounding. Check him out. It's Curtis from Alberta or at Leafs Guy 403. Anyways, it's incredible. He got to sit in an empty arena and watch the Leafs thrash the Senators. It must have been a pretty cool story. I got a ton of questions. I hope I get to ask him one day. We'd love to have him here on the pod and ask him some questions. Anyways, big shout out to Curtis.
Yeah.
One other thing. COVID seems to be back in our midst here, guys. It looks like Marner and Engvall are out. They're placed in protocol. The Leafs have waived Ritchie, obviously. Kev, what do you make of all this?
Well, it's rearing its ugly head. Like this thing is gonna sweep around. So my prediction is before puck drops, there'll be more than just those two guys in protocol. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see by the end of it 4 or 5 before puck is dropped. So let's hope it doesn't happen. But I've got a bad feeling.
Okay, Coach, what about you?
Well, they did waive Ritchie. I can't imagine it. I don't think he got claimed. So I think he gets a stay of execution. He'll fill in for one of those guys. I hope he gets your message, Devo, and he plays. But he plays hard. But look, my concern isn't against Colorado. They got to fire up the taxi squad, boys. I got tickets Tuesday and Wednesday night in Vegas and Phoenix. We need games.
Yeah. I think they'll play in the States. You might be okay, Coach. Okay, this is when we lay it all on the line super fast here tonight for predictions. The Leafs are on the road against Colorado. We hope they're going to play. Katie, or let's start with you, Coach. What's going to happen?
Well, Colorado's a great team. Terrific. Kadri, 4th in the league in scoring. You saw that Makar goal. He's unbelievable. Oh. And they have the best line in hockey. Used to be the guys in I almost said the B word there. Used to be the guys in the Northeast. But that line is terrific. Should be a great game. I think Matthews is going to break out. I'm going to call a 4-3 overtime win. Ooh. And Matthews with a pair, including the OT winner.
All right, Katie, what's going to happen?
Nervous about this one. I'm nervous a lot of guys will be out, so I'm not going to give a score this time. But I do think Matthews breaks his mini slump, and I think line 2 rolls.
Wow, okay. Makar's goal the other night, folks, if you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's the goal of the year for sure. I'm going to call a Leafs win. This Avalanche team is very good. They score goals in bunches, maybe a bit of a track meet. 5-3 Leafs, 65 scores, 34 scores, and 19 scores. Wow. You've heard it all here. That's how we do it here at the OZone, folks. Hit subscribe. Hit that little ring bell button. You'll get all your little notifications. We bring you everything you need to know about those Leafs. And that's why you keep coming back right here